Hey, welcome, family. As you come in, please mute yourself and go to the chat. In the chat, I left a little message, and hopefully that when you see that, you respond. Put your email in the chat, just so we're able to send you a copy of the NCUA National Credit Union Administration Charter Application Guide. As we talked about on Facebook, for those who came through the Facebook, that is what we're here to discuss today. The introduction of what it actually takes to get a credit union. The charter application guide is literally the step-by-step process that we would follow to have our own charter federal credit union here. A little bit about myself. My name is Alkaali. Some of you may know me as David Tufts, which is my English name. I don't look English, so I really don't go by that name. And others of you may know me through Nzinga Mbande from my Facebook. However, you could call me Alkaali, you could call me brother. We'll just go from there. Now, me, I'm just a person who has a heart for my people. I see myself as a servant of my people. And I have a high degree of love for myself. And when I see you, I see me. As some of you may notice, I say, peace, God, what's up, God? As I see you, I see me. Through the love I have for myself and me recognizing who I am, that love is extended to you and recognizing who you are. All right, we're going to proceed. Now, this couple years ago, I'll just give you guys a little backstory. A couple years ago, I was introduced to a brother named Victor. He brought me in the fold of this group, NAHE, National Association of Hebrews. This nonprofit organization, which is based out of Texas, was putting forth an initiative to have a national credit union, Black credit union. Now, in our community, we have, a few Black banks, and we have credit unions, but they're all regional. We do not have like a national chain, like a chain of credit unions. And, they move quick. In each state they were in, they worked to set up chapters of their nonprofit. And those chapters would then go to form their own charters. A credit union needs to have a nonprofit so it can operate. Credit unions are only able to operate through nonprofits, if that makes sense. And so, we have here in Lincoln, Nebraska, where we had these group forums, African forums, and we just came to discuss things. And this brother came and discussed the credit union, the opportunity represented for us. Talked about things such as using the credit union not only to provide loans that would increase the quality of life of Black people, but on the bigger scale, you have supermarkets and medical institutions, hospitals, schools, things that are very vital for the survival of our community and for the survival of our race. So I didn't take anything this brother said lightly. I got introduced to Dr. Quay, who was the chairman for NAHE. Through conversations with Dr. Quay and Victor, they brought me in as chairman of the Nebraska chapter. I'm still sitting. Technically, our chapter is dissolved. One person who's still pushing the initiative. It's just what it is. However, from my experience with this group and my experience with their initiative, I gained a lot of vital information. Because early on I recognized that even if this isn't it for us, we still need to have a financial institution. We need to have a way to create wealth for ourselves and use that wealth to build things like schools and hospitals and supermarkets. Why do we need to do this? When you look around, Do Black people own and control the schools that we go to? Do we own and control the farms or even the stores where we get our food? Think about how many Black people have to go for a loan. We're going to Black institutions, loans for things essential like a car, which gets you to and from work. If you have children, get your children to and fro. That is very important to have. Mortgages for houses, so you are secure, so your family is secure. You're not moving from place to place to place to place because rent is going up, or having to pay high prices of rent. That's the way of the game. You pay literally double in rent to what you would pay for a mortgage. These are things that are essential for our lives, to have sustainable lives on this planet. And when you look at those things, are we going to Black people or Black places? I believe we all know the answer to that. And that leaves us compromised as a group of people who are a minority in a country where the dominant group has proven to be hostile to us, has proven to deny us of these very things, whether through redlining, or outright refusal to service Black people. The only thing that changed this was laws, regulations. And laws can be rewritten, laws can be unwritten, and laws don't have to be followed. Anybody that's going along with any of the national court cases of Black people being killed, pick one. You see that laws don't apply the same way to us as it does for others. So these are very important things that we need. And this group was bringing this forward, saying that we're a national chain, would be able to reach our people at the national level to ensure that we can provide for our people nationally. And as chairman, I put that on me. That is on me. It was my inability to market that to my community is the reason why we failed here. You know, as that's something that I understand, and it hurts. There's a lot of frustration behind it, but I haven't given up on you. I haven't given up on me. I knew regardless, we need to have this here. So starting from scratch, again, a credit union has to operate through the nonprofit. That is the only way. Your nonprofit is what when you follow the steps of the charter application guide, you'll read all that. However, now I'm going to share my screen and we're going to go into it. And then going forward, any questions you have, just raise your hand. You know, you can hit the little hand button. And then after I finish my thought, I will get to you. And any questions that, or you could leave it in the chat. But yeah, I want this to be more of a dialogue and not just me talking, because I need to know that you guys understand this. I hope you enjoy the music. I'm going to share my screen now. We're going to look at the Nahi presentation for the credit union, proposed credit union. Because they did a lot of things well. I'm not gonna, I don't want to reinvent the wheel. And hopefully anybody who is good at graphic designing and stuff, if you guys want to rebrand this so it fits what we do, I'm happy. So it's like, you know, let's just get into it. What is a credit union? Credit unions are not-for-profit corporate organizations that exist to serve their members. A credit union is different than a bank because a bank is for-profit. They offer similar services, literally the same things. One is just for-profit and member-owned, and it's cooperative. I mean, one is for-profit, the other one is non-profit, member-owned and cooperative. And one of the biggest things, takeaways that are differences with banks is that they do not serve the, they do not best serve the economic situation of Black people. Since banks are for profit, the only way that they can make money is to give money out. And more often than not, they're going to give money to larger corporations, uh, which happen to be outside of our community. Credit unions, on the other hand, you have to be a member. It's member owned. It serves their members. It doesn't serve large body of people out here. It serves their members. Keep that in mind. Now, the members, the credit union or members of our various communities who meet membership fees requirement are part owners of the credit union. It's another thing you'll see in the charter application guide. Like, you have to structure it in a way. They have to go through each step and approve each step. But yeah, we have to have membership fees. But from those fees, you become part owner. They're owned and controlled by the people who use their services. Everybody has a vote. We decide a volunteer board of directors, and then we vote on specific ways we want the credit union to operate and function. The purpose of this credit union, in the focus of it, is to serve the well-being of our members, making sure that you can get loans for cars, which are essential, as we talked about earlier, to get loans for mortgages for housing, which is very essential, to get loans for college education, which puts you, it allows you to access higher levels of income due to your education at the lowest rates that you can find in town. By and large, credit unions have lower interest rates than banks. Now, membership is based on a common bond, also known as the credit union's field of membership. Your common bond could be based on where you grew up. It can be based on your neighborhood, if you're in the Air Force. Since we are a Black credit union, our common bond is based on our Blackness. It's a way that we can keep the credit union within our community, not allowing those outside of our community to exploit and take resources away from Black people. And our Blackness, or having either you phenotypically, meaning how you look Black, and or have a parent who we can physically identify, phenotypically looks Black. We have the opportunity to socialize and participate in an institution designed to help our members bloom. Black people, we have the ability and the opportunity to grow and develop our community, to achieve social, economic, and political equity. These are some of the other things from the NAHI. Even looking at this, again, if anybody is good with digital stuff, and help us rebrand this, because we're starting in Nebraska. We're not going to reach 1 million Black people in Nebraska. There aren't 1 million Black people in Nebraska, but I know there's at least 50,000 of us. So to be able to see these numbers with that many people, that it'll help. So we'll just skip all this for now. But the takeaway, because I did get the question from time to time that, well, there's only 50,000 people in there. How are we depending on the money that 50,000 people deposit? No, we are not. Let me go to this. Now, the credit union and all banking systems go to the Federal Reserve. We are banking on money we are getting money from the Federal Reserve. Once you have a financial institution put in place, a bank, i.e. a credit union, they go to the Federal Reserve to borrow money, and they borrow large amounts, hundreds of millions of dollars. The Federal Reserve also ensures every single account up to $100,000. So a lot of us, especially here, we don't just got $100,000 just chilling in the bank. So what we have in the bank is secure. Now, when we go to the Federal Reserve, we're getting them to give us money, borrow the money, then we're dispensing that money through loans, because it's the only way banking works. It's the only way you make money, by giving money out. You have your little fees for late charges, ATM fees and all that, but giving money out at a premium. Our premium is the interest rate. And as you pay that back with the premium, the bank then becomes profitable over time. And you can find the definition of the Federal Reserve, what it is, what it does. This website here, and the financial services that talks about the scope of services, of everything I just explained to you, you can find on this website here. But again, we're not relying on the money that you personally put in the bank. We are relying on the money distributed to us, loaned to us by the Federal Reserve. The only way we can pay that money back is to give it out to you and have you pay it back at a premium. Banking. All right. Now, the moment we're all here for, we're going to go over, let's see if I can find this. The Federal National Credit Union Administration Federal Credit Union Charter Application Guide. So I'm just going to read through this, maybe the first couple pages, because that's really all we need. And then from there, we'll have continued meetings. I like Sundays. Sundays work for me. Does that work for everyone else? Can you put a 1 in the chat if that works for you? Okay. And then we can look at that. If not, I just pick a day that works and go back and review if a Sunday works. And then we can keep having these meetings as we're working and progressing towards the goal of having our own federal credit union here, starting here. Because again, I don't want to get into it, but we want to look at having this every area you have Black people. But we got to get it right here, and then we can branch out. Okay, let's start using this guide. This guide provides direction on applying for a federal credit union charter. The guide's 5 parts include step-by-step guidance and examples to help your proposed federal credit union group navigate the process successfully. It is most efficient to complete parts 1 through 3 in the order listed. Each step within a part is also in suggested order of completion. We recommend you submit each part for NCUA review and feedback before proceeding to the next part. Any step within a part may also be submitted when completed. Each submitted step or part will be reviewed by NCUA as to its adequacy, and NCUA will let the PFCU know when they should proceed to the next step or part. NCUA must find all steps have been satisfactorily completed before a chapter can be approved. So part 1, preliminary work, steps 1 through 3. This part covers what you should research before starting the chartering process. It also covers establishing a name and a field of membership for your PFCU, proposed federal credit union. Part 2, support and location, steps 4 through 7. This part covers identifying subscribers, securing funding for startup and operational costs, identifying a location, and completing a survey of the potential field of membership. Part 3, assembling your package, steps 8 through 15. This part covers operational and financial plans for the PFCU. It covers finding a mentor, identifying officials and staff, developing a detailed and realistic business and marketing plan, completing NCUA's chartering forms, and developing bylaws, policies, and procedures. Part 4, NCUA action, steps 16 to 17. This part discusses the NCUA's actions upon determining you have met the requirements for your charter to be approved. Parts 5, attachments. There are 13 attachments, A through M. Attachment A is a checklist recapping the documentation requirements for step 1 through 15. The other attachments are examples, templates, resource materials, links, etc. And then if you have any questions, NCUA's Office of Consumer Protection, Division of Consumer Access is responsible for the chartering process and issuing the credit union's charter. For information and questions regarding chartering process, please contact OCP DCA at 703-518-1140 or at newfcu@ncua.gov. Documentation for all completed steps and parts should be submitted to OCP-DCA at the following address. There you go. The NCUA also offers free consulting services with the chartering process, meaning that we're not just here in the dark trying to figure this out for ourselves. We have someone to go to that is in this organization that would be approving our charter to help us through the steps. These services, which are available once the proposed federal credit union receives preliminary field of membership approval, are offered by NCUA's Office of Small Credit Union Initiatives. OSCUI is committed to helping small credit unions survive and thrive. OSCUI recognizes the unique role small, low-income, designated, and new credit unions play in the lives of their members and communities. Assistance offered through OCUI for credit union organizing groups and newly chartered credit unions includes consulting, training, and grants. Grants, if low income is designated. Again, grants, meaning that once we get through to the preliminary for the membership process, we could potentially apply for grants that will allow us to have, and our organization, the organization starts with the nonprofit. So organization and the nonprofit pay people who will be going through and helping us through the process, the people who will be doing the groundwork, collecting the surveys, putting together the financial, business, and marketing plans, having the resources necessary to make sure that they're not just out here, sacrificing all for the people, that we have something to give back. Okay, NCUA will update this guide as changes occur in the chartering process. For the most recent version of the guide, ncua.gov. And I have the 2014 version. I believe that was the most recent version that I downloaded. You can go to the website, and I will go to the website and download anything that is more recent, anything that is newer, because the updates really matter. Note to user, the table of contents, place the cursor over the category name and click while holding down the control key. All right, that's just, I guess as you put your emails in the chat, we send this to you. This part is important to you because then you could go by each step. A list of the documentation requirements for each step follows each step's discussion. For a checklist of other documentation requirements for each step, go to attachment A, hold the cursor over attachment A, click on it while holding the control key. Frequently asked questions. How long does it take to charter a federal credit union? The time required to complete the process varies depending upon the subscribers. Knowledge, expertise, plan services, and timeliness in submitting the required data. However, organizers working closely with NCUA and completing the process step by step has on average ranged from 1 year to 3 years, depending on the complexity of the PFCU's business model, proposed federal credit union business model. Keep that in mind. As long as we're taking the necessary steps, doing what we need to do, we can make this a reality in a year. 1 year. So don't take anything we're doing lightly. Don't think of this as this long-term thing that we won't see for 5 years down. No, we can knock these things out and get it done so we have what we need in a year. This could be our entire goal for 2023. Think about that. How much startup and capital funding is needed? Funding, usually in the form of donations and grants, is necessary to cover the startup costs of the proposed federal credit union, to absorb its net operating losses until it achieves positive net earnings, and to maintain adequate capital position. Meaning that we're going to have to get our hustle up so we have the funds necessary to cover the startup costs. Operating costs because this is a business. So we'd have to have the operating costs for building, what's it going to take to update the building, put the resources that we need in the building, having people work in the building, your tellers, your bankers, having the lights on and everything. We're going to have a way to pay that before, and we have to, that's going to help us absorb our losses, because all that is lost until there's profit. We don't start getting profit until we lend money and people pay back the money that we lent at the premium. Okay. The amount of funding varies and is contingent upon the proposed federal credit union's desired initial services, business model, and overall proposed operating structure. More services and related costs often equates to more funding. The actual amount necessary will not be able to be fully determined until completion of the pro forma financial statements and plans for operating independently. However, if you wish to estimate the amount of funding required, we suggest using a minimum of lesser $300,000 or $100,000 per $1 million in projected assets during the first 5 years of proposed federal credit union's operation. For example, if you expect the proposed federal credit union to grow to $5 million in assets by the end of year 5, the organizers should obtain pre-charter of at least $500,000 in commitments for startup donated capital. These amounts are only estimates and additional funding may be needed. So that means we got to, part of this is having fundraising initiatives to make sure that our startup costs are covered. Point blank period. Getting grant writers, hitting the road with this to get the message out to our people. Does the NCUA offer assistance to organizers? Yes. The NCUA offers assistance with the chartering process through the OCP, DCA, and OSCUI. Generally, NCUA assigns OCP, DCA analysts to work with the PFCU through the chartering process, step 1 through 17. The analysts will review the documentation submitted by the PFCU and provide feedback. Upon a PFCU receiving preliminary field of membership approval, completion of step 3, free consulting services with the chartering process are available upon OSCUI enrolling the PFCU into its consulting program. NCUA's preliminary field of membership approval letter will identify what type of assistance is available and how a PFCU may request such assistance. If a PFCU is enrolled into OSCUI's consulting program, an economic development specialist is assigned to assist the PFCU. The EDS, there's so many of these, so I hope you guys are keeping up. There are so many of these. The EDS, or Economic Development Specialist, will work in conjunction with the assigned OCP DCA analyst to assist the PFCU to complete the remainder of the chartering steps 4 through 15. Upon a PFCU being chartered, NCUA assigns a district examiner and supervisory examiner to the new federal credit union. The DE and SE will complete on-site examinations and are responsible for overseeing the regulatory supervision and safety and soundness of the new federal credit union. And EDS will also be assigned to continue providing free consultation services for the new federal credit union's first 3 years. Other resources are also available to assist a PFCU with the chartering process. See step 8 for more information on these other resources. Here's the table of contents. Step 1, research, select your name, establish your field of membership. We're going to just read or go through part 1 because this is the important stuff. This is the stuff right here that I got a lot of pushback from the Black community here in Nebraska. This part right here. Single common bond, field of membership. But you go through the other steps. These are what we'll cover at later dates. You can review all of this by putting your email in the chat so we're able to get to you and make sure that you have this information as well. So I'll go through all that. Let's just go back to the top. Like I said, this right here was the biggest pushback I had. I get it. We're in Lincoln. We're in Nebraska. There's maybe 100,000 Black people here. You know, maybe 120,000 if we count. You know, I get it. Having something that is all Black to some sounds racist. I'm going to put it to you this way. Black people do not have the ability to be racist. Racism is prejudice plus power, meaning there's nothing that we can say that would affect anybody's ability to gain employment, that would affect their ability to receive justice in the courts. In order to have a credit union that operates in the best interest of Black people, we have to ensure that the resources of that credit union stay within our group, which is Black people. So we found it wise to base our field of membership on our Blackness. As we stated earlier, you physically look Black, meaning phenotype. I can look at you and you physically look Black, and or you have at least one parent who physically looks Black. That is how we are able to keep Black resources and use them to provide for Black people. This is not prejudice. This is not racist. This is not keeping people out. This is not reverse any of that. It is essential that we are able to use our resources to do for self and not let others use our resources to build themselves up while leaving our community impoverished. We have to have a field of membership. The potential members must qualify for membership by belonging to a specific group. It can be your occupation, the job you work at, or the line of work. It can be an association, like a church, professional, civic, fraternal group, or labor union, or your community where you live, work, or attend school in the same geographic area. And Black credit union are Blackness. That common bond is known as the credit union's field of membership. This is key. Every credit union must establish a legally recognized field of membership, and only persons or groups within the field of membership and a few others by virtue of their close relationship to that common bond group may join the credit union. For example, immediate family members or household. So, you have immediate family as white or other, they may join. If your spouse or baby's mother or father is other, they may join. If that makes you happy, be happy, happy. That was the biggest part of you guys got to understand. I got so much pushback for this, and I wanted to I should have taken the time to explain this part. It's not banning everyone. It's just saying legally, the only way we can operate is we have this field of membership. Our field of membership, we're basing on being Black, or at least having one parent who identifies as Black. However, your immediate family, if you have others in your immediate family, they may join. If you have people who are your spouse and they happen to be other, they may join. Okay? Other eligible groups, along with other information on fields of membership, can be found in the chartering manual. See attachment L. You click on that when you got the time. There are 3 field of membership types for a federal credit union that can be chartered to serve are single common bond, multiple common bond, and community bond. The NCUA will provide preliminary approval on one of the above field of membership types upon the PFCU satisfying below the documentation requirements. Information on qualifying for low income designation based on the PFCU's field of membership is also outlined below, along with the benefits of such designation. Now, immediate family is defined as spouse, the child, sibling, parent, grandparent, or grandchild. This includes step-parents, step-children, step-siblings, and adoptive relationships. A household is defined as a person living in the same residence, maintaining a single economic union. A PFCU can adopt a more restrictive definition of immediate family or household. So if y'all really want others to join, go out and you can marry others. You can live in houses with others. If you really want them to join, you can adopt others and have them. If you really want that, go ahead. Knock yourself out. You can do that. But you got to understand, guys, I'm focusing on this because that was the biggest pushback I got from the Black community here. And there it is. There it is. You can have others in our group and using the services of the credit union. They can join, they can be members. Here, that's the only way. That's the only way. Okay. that's where we're going to stop right here. Back. Screen share. There we go. Now, again, we will be having these meetings. It looks in the chat. Everybody is okay with Sunday. We'll do these meetings every Sunday, same time, so we can keep recruiting, getting this information out there. And again, credit unions can only be established by a nonprofit. Myself and my brother Ramon, we are in the process of forming Black African Family, which is a 501c8, a nonprofit organization. 501c8, we're able to give benefits to our members. That's what makes us a nonprofit. Reach out to us. We'll explain more on that in another conversation. So you can choose to do this with us, or again, you left me your information, I will email this to you. You can take it upon yourself to form your own credit union with any group of people you feel you want to form a credit union with that you have a common bond with. For Black African Family, we are forming this credit union for our Black African family, starting here locally in Nebraska. And we're going to go out from there. So we're asking that you build with us. We're asking that, you know, you take this journey with us. You know, this is it, guys. This is it. We're here. As I said before, and you know, you go to my social media, I'll make sure to leave the interviews I did. I did a couple on smaller platforms. But one thing I said, regardless if Naheed is it or not, I'm making sure before I leave here that we have a financial institution, we have a credit union, because it is very important. It is literally what will determine our ability to sustain our lives here in Nebraska. You know, I'll just leave it there. I don't want to go out. We've been going all day. I don't see any real questions. Anyways, thank you, family. I'm gonna post this. You know, I'll just get the information out to you. Thank you for your time, and let's build together. Peace.